Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Crown Princess Mary of Denmark is on the brink of becoming the nation's next queen following Queen Margrethe II's announcement of her abdication during her New Year's Day speech. This remarkable journey started when Mary, originally from Tasmania, Australia, crossed paths with Crown Prince Frederick, known as Fred, in a Sydney pub in September 2000. Little did she know that her life was about to take a dramatic turn into a fairy tale. "I did not know he was the Crown Prince of Denmark," Mary reminisced in a 2003 interview. "It was only after some time had passed that someone informed her of the royal identities." More than 23 years after that fateful encounter, Mary, now 51 years old, will ascend to Denmark's throne, with her husband becoming King Frederik X. Internationally recognized for her distinctive sense of style and passionate commitment to progressive causes such as climate change, advocacy, sustainability, and women's and children's rights, Mary has won hearts around the world. She has renounced her Australian and British citizenships and speaks fluent Danish, but her Australian roots are a source of immense pride for her homeland. In Australia, she is celebrated as a local treasure, and her impending reign as queen has only intensified the admiration and pride. "All hail Mary, our flanny queen, living a fairy tale dream," read a headline in The Australian, a national broadsheet newspaper. Flanny is Australian slang for the casual flannelette shirts that Mary favoured in her younger years. Attempts by the British press to label her as Mary Queen of Scots due to her Scottish heritage have been met with criticism in Australia. While King Charles III is technically the Australian monarch, many Australians feel ambivalent about this arrangement. However, Mary's down-to-earth and relatable personality transcends these sentiments. Mary's commitment to causes such as LGBTQ+ rights and her avoidance of drama have earned her respect from anti-monarchists. Her unlikely love story with Frederick, which began in an Australian pub during his visit for the Olympic Games, has captured hearts around the world. The daughter of an ordinary Australian couple, Mary grew up with a typical childhood in Hobart, Tasmania. She attended public school, played sports, and studied law and commerce in college before pursuing a career in advertising. "I don't recall wishing that one day I would be a princess," Mary once remarked. "I wanted to be a veterinarian." Her authenticity and dedication have endeared her to the Danish people, resulting in an 85% approval rating, surpassing many other members of the royal family, according to a recent poll commissioned by Denmark's public radio station DR. Mary's professionalism and active engagement in public matters have further solidified her popularity. She has worked diligently as Crown Princess since day one, and her popularity has occasionally necessitated efforts to downplay her role to avoid overshadowing the Crown Prince, who is set to become the reigning monarch in the future. Mary's journey from an ordinary Australian to Denmark's future queen is a testament to an unlikely love story that began in a Sydney pub, making her a beloved figure in both Australia and Denmark. In the words of Australian commentator Van Badham, "It was not God that put her there, but a warm Sydney night and the slip in." Less than a month after Queen Margrethe ascended to the Danish throne in 1972, following the passing of King Frederik IX, a girl named Mary Donaldson entered the world in a small Hobart hospital on the other side of the globe. Mary's parents were a mathematics professor and an executive assistant who had emigrated from Scotland to Australia. Growing up in a middle-class suburban household with her siblings, Jane, Patricia, and John, Mary displayed natural leadership qualities during her high school years. Her former principal described her as an engaging, very outgoing, very amiable young woman. After completing her degree in law and commerce at the University of Tasmania, Mary pursued a successful career in advertising and luxury real estate. However, a chance encounter during the 2000 Olympic Games in a lively Sydney pub would completely alter the course of her life. It was at the Slip-In pub that a 28-year-old Mary had gone to meet friends for a drink, unaware of the presence of European royalty among them. Crown Prince Frederik, his brother Prince Joachim, his cousin Prince Nicholas of Greece and Denmark, Princess Martha of Norway, and Spain's King Felipe VI were part of the group. The conversation revolved around a less regal topic, whether men looked better with or without chest hair. About half an hour later, someone approached Mary and revealed the royal identities of those around her. Recalling the encounter, Mary said, "I gave Frederick my telephone number and he rang me the next day, so you could say something clicked. There wasn't fireworks in the sky or anything like that, but there was a sense of excitement." A long-distance relationship blossomed, leading Mary to relocate to Denmark in 2002. She began learning Danish, took a job at Microsoft. The couple married in Copenhagen Cathedral on May 14, 2004, with over 1 million Australians waking up in the middle of the night to watch the ceremony live. Back in Tasmania, students from Mary's alma mater, Taruna High School, celebrated with Viking helmets and tiaras. The Copenhagen Post's front-page headline proclaimed, "The girl who charmed a nation," and a news poll indicated that 5 out of 6 Danes believed she would make an excellent queen one day. In the early stages of her journey from a Tasmanian-born luxury real estate agent to Denmark's future queen, Mary Donaldson made a pivotal decision to prepare herself for the royal life she would soon lead. This transformation began just months after she met her future husband, Crown Prince Frederik, during his visit to Sydney for the Olympic Games in late 2000. Having worked in advertising and residing in Bondi Junction at the time, Mary sought change in her life and attended an introductory presentation at StarQuest, later known as Star Makers, in early 2001. Deportment teacher and life coach Teresa Page recalled Mary's determination, saying, "She said, well, I really want to change my life. I feel like life is passing me by." At 28 years old, Mary was eager for a significant transformation. Mary enrolled in an 8-week program at the Darlinghurst Deportment Studio, where she dedicated hours to mastering various skills. These included photographic posing, script memorization, interviewing techniques, stage presentation, and more, all of which would prove invaluable in her future royal duties. Teresa Page emphasized the importance of these skills for someone in Mary's position. She has to present herself in public. She's photographed. She meets people. She walks into rooms, greets people, and builds rapport. All of those skills require supreme confidence and can be learned to be done in a really confident way, which is rehearsed. While some critics view deportment classes and finishing schools as outdated and superficial, Miss Page stressed that it's about defining one's self-concept and personal brand rather than mere external appearances. Despite the passage of time, Teresa Page has had limited email communications with Mary, noting that she is now quite busy with her royal duties. Palace Intrigue will be right back. In the Sydney Morning Herald, Rob Harris writes under the headline, "Mary, Queen of Scots, you have got to be kidding." Not content with her own royal family, British newspapers are trying to claim Denmark's next queen, Crown Princess Mary, as one of their own. As the Australian-born princess prepares to take the Danish throne alongside her husband of 20 years, Crown Prince Frederik, Fleet Street is seemingly delighted that the Scandinavian nation will soon have a Scottish queen. "The barroom romance with a fairy tale ending," screamed the London Telegraph, adding, "How a Scot became Queen of Denmark." Several outlets, including Rupert Murdoch's The Times, also labelled the princess as Scottish, making sure Australians knew her parents, mathematician John Daglish Donaldson and Henrietta Clark Donaldson, had moved to Tasmania a few months after marrying in 1963. Even the Scotsman boasted that the country of 5.4 million had already given the world Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. His grandfather was born in Scotland, and former US President Donald Trump, his mother, was born on the Isle of Lewis, Scotland, and now a Danish queen would be added to the list. Over 300 Danes have found themselves disappointed as a bookmaker announced that it wouldn't be honouring bets placed on Queen Margrethe's abdicating during her New Year's Eve speech. In Denmark, a tradition in many households involves predicting what the Queen will say in her annual New Year's address, with the gambling company offering odds on hundreds of words or names. This year's favourite was the word peace. The word abdicate had odds of 15 Danish kroner, about $3.25. So if a bettor had waged 100 kroner, they would have received 1,500 kroner, $325, if the Queen had mentioned the word. However, there was one significant issue. She never uttered the actual word. Peter Emmeke Rasmussen of the National Lottery explained, "We have many words that have had the same meaning, and if we start paying out on this one, why shouldn't we pay out on similar words that she came up with? We included abdicate as one of the words you could bet on, but that's not what she said. She mentioned something about wanting to resign, and we didn't have it." Interestingly, the word that paid out the most was Zelensky, with the company awarding over 1 million kroner to the 1,310 people who correctly predicted it. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or your app of choice. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.